Do I have to review this WrestleMania? Do I have to? Can I just skip to WrestleMania 28? Can I? Fine. So, welcome to another WrestleMania review, and today I'm here to review WrestleMania 27. Just a fucking... what an awesome show this was. This is easily the greatest WrestleMania of all the times. Better than everyone. No, I'm just kidding. This show sucked dick. It was terrible. But, you know, I'm not even going to spend too much time talking about this show, because it was a piece of shit. So, Rock was the host for this show. He had come back, I think, the Raw before Elimination Chamber in a great moment to see The Rock back in the WWE after 7 years of not being there to be busy with Hollywood and all that type of stuff. So he had just come back, and the fans were more than happy to see him there. And so, yeah, he hosted the show. He spent like 10 minutes trying to hype up the crowd, which kind of worked, I guess. So we kick off the show, the first match of the show. So what do you think would be the first match of the show? You know, like a high-paced singles match, or maybe like a tag team match? No. Let's start the show with the World Heavyweight title match. Yeah, let's put a World Championship match at the beginning of the show, because that's smart. Jesus Christ. So, Edge versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title. This was Edge's final match for the WWE until he was forced to retire due to neck problems, which it still sucks that we're never going to see Edge wrestle again. But thankfully, he ended his career quick and didn't have to end it in a wheelchair if something really bad happened to him. So, as for an opening match, it was actually really good. But a World Championship match should never open a pay-per-view, in my opinion. It just shouldn't. It should be saved for either the second half of the card, at least. But Edge won the match. Del Rio just came in. He was a cocky Mexican douchebag heel who had just heaps of money and had his own personal ring announcer and stuff, Ricardo Rodriguez, which was really cool. And he even came out with these really nice-looking cars and everything. And after the match, Edge and Christian, who was in his corner, pretty much just destroyed Alberto Del Rio's car at WrestleMania. So yeah, what a great moment for Del Rio. But I'd say this was a good match for Edge to end his career on. You know, he can say, hey, at least my last match ever was a World Championship match at WrestleMania. Like, that's not a bad way to end your career, man. So after that, we had Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. So build up for this was Cody Rhodes was known as Dashing Cody Rhodes. He was very he's reminded me a lot of like Rick Rude in a way, but he was very he was very self-absorbed and just loved looking at himself in the mirror and just see how dashing and beautiful he is or some shit like that. Well, that all ended when Rey Mysterio, who had a knee brace on, hit the 619 on Cody Rhodes and basically fucked his face up because of it, and he had to start wearing this plastic mask, like a protective mask, to make sure nobody fucked up his face, and make sure everything just goes back into place, and he became ugly Cody Rhodes, and he wore like a hoodie, and made sure that no one looked at him, and he pretty much wanted revenge on Rey Mysterio for fucking up his face, and Rey Mysterio wore a really cool Captain America gear for this event, which looked really good. And yeah, as for the match itself, it was pretty good actually. I remember this match being actually not that bad. Cody Rhodes ended up getting the win, which I didn't have a problem with. It built up his character very well, and he was a really interesting character at the time with his whole protective mask and like not wanting people to kind of look at him type thing. So yeah, it was really cool. So what wasn't cool though was this random 8-man tag team match. It was the Corre. Remember the Corre? Yeah, me neither. Ezekiel Jackson, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, and Wade Barrett. So, Slater, Gabriel, and Wade Barrett was kicked out of the Nexus and joined SmackDown for some fucking reason. And they decided to face Big Show, Kane, Kofi Kingston, and Santino Marella. Well, it was originally meant to be Vladimir Kozlov instead of Kofi Kingston, but I believe Kozlov got injured. and so Kofi was his last-minute replacement. As for this match, who gives a shit? Who really gives a shit? Babyfaces went over. Cool. Afterwards was Randy Orton versus CM Punk, and this match was also a very solid match. I believe CM Punk was the leader of the new Nexus, which he himself has said that he wasn't really a big fan of, and I don't blame him. I mean, the new Nexus sucked, and they were basically going after Randy Orton for some reason. I can't really remember. But yeah, the match was actually pretty damn good. The thing I definitely remember about this match, though, was Randy Orton's sick RKO out of nowhere, where CM Punk, I believe, went for a springboard, a clothesline, and then Orton catches him in the RKO, which was a really great ending to the match. And yeah, Randy Orton would then later, in the draft, get drafted to SmackDown and become World Heavyweight Champion, have a great feud with Christian that year. So, and as for CM Punk in 2011, in the second half of that year, he would basically be the most important guy of that year when it came to professional wrestling. Just how much he shook professional wrestling to its foundations, especially in the second half of 2011. So, after that, no, not talking about this. No. I'm leaving. Fucking leaving. Alright, fine, I'll talk about the stupid, shitty match. So, Jerry the King Lawler versus Michael Pissin Cole. Michael Cole was in a match at WrestleMania. Why? He had Jack Swagger in his corner as his trainer, and the special guest referee was Stone Cold Steve Austin. This match really didn't need to happen. It just didn't. Michael Cole was turning heel in 2010 for some reason. He started hating on Daniel Bryan when he debuted, and started sucking the Miz's cock at any chance he had, and was basically just making fun of Jerry the King Lawler. And Jerry had enough of his shit and decided to have a match at WrestleMania. And the fact that Michael Cole is in a match at WrestleMania. So, the fucked up thing about this was, Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for the United States title was originally meant to be on the main card, but it became the dark match. And it was a lumberjack match, of all matches. And then right afterwards was a battle royal where the Great Khali won. If anyone gives a fuck about the Great Khali, that was all in a dark match. We could have had a great match between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan for the US title at WrestleMania. They would be on the main show at the next year's WrestleMania, but it doesn't exactly go the way they were thinking. But yeah, Jerry Lawler looks like he has won the match after pretty much locking in a submission hold on Michael Cole, and Stone Cold, despite Michael Cole tapping out, was saying, "Do you tap? Do you tap?" Just basically, you know, embarrassing him. And it looked like Jerry Lawler got the win, but the anonymous Raw general manager, thank God this fucking thing ended. And the anonymous Raw general manager was just like, no, because, you see, Stone Cold was being an impartial referee, so Michael Cole wins the match. You know, they couldn't have just restarted the match or anything. No, they had to give the win to Michael Cole, which is just fucking stupid. And afterwards, Stone Cold just stunned everyone, which I never get tired of seeing Stone Cold stun people. So yeah, that was probably the best thing about this match. As for the match itself, it was one of the biggest pieces of shit in WrestleMania history. Not even just WrestleMania history, but just wrestling in general. It was awful. -5 stars. So, what wasn't -5 stars, though, was the match that came afterwards. Triple H versus The Undertaker. No holds barred match. This match kicked ass, man. 10 years ago, they had a match at WrestleMania X7, which I thought was pretty damn good, but I feel like this match was way better. I remember the promo. It wasn't really a promo, but they were having segments. 2/24/11. The number, that date would show up on WWE programming, and everyone's like, "Oh, what does that date mean? What's going to happen?" And it turns out it would be the return of The Undertaker. He'd show up on Monday Night Raw. But as well, Triple H returns after being on the shelf for almost a year, or just not even on the shelf, just laying low. And the two had a face-off, and like no dialogue at all. They just faced off, and the crowd was going fucking crazy because they're like, "Oh my god, Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania? Where do I sign up?" So yeah, that bit in particular, that segment, I remember fondly, and it was really awesome. And as for the match itself, yeah, it definitely lived up to it. I thought this was a great match. I remember the bit where like Triple H hits the spine buster on Undertaker through the announce table. That was crazy. And especially when he goes for the tombstone pile driver and he sets it up the way Undertaker does, where he crosses his opponent's arms and sticks the tongue out, rolls his eyes back and all that. Triple H did the exact same thing to the Undertaker, and Undertaker kicks out at literally the last millisecond. And yeah, it was probably one of the best false finishes in all of Undertaker's career. But Undertaker just managed to win this match, and by just managed, I mean after that he couldn't stand up on his own 2 feet afterwards. He had to get wheeled out of the arena. Like that's how bad it was. He couldn't stand up on his own 2 feet. He was fainting. He was falling on the ground, and yeah, it was. Although Undertaker did win the match, did he truly win the war? And we'd see that at next year's WrestleMania to see if he truly did win the war. So, afterwards, we get a 6-person tag match. Dolph Ziggler and LayCool taking on John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and fucking Snooki. Fucking Snooki. From the Jersey Shore, which was pretty popular at the time, but looking back now, why does she compete in the match? What even is this WrestleMania, man? Like she wasn't bad, but she wasn't great as well. Like the babyfaces went over in a match that, according to Wikipedia, went for 3 minutes and 16 seconds, so 3:16. And if that was how long it went, it would have been better if Austin ran in the ring and just hit the stunner on Snooki. That would have been the greatest thing ever. And then we get to the main event for the WWE Championship. The Miz versus John Cena. Yes, The Miz was WWE Champion headlining WrestleMania. So, Miz won the Money in the Bank in July of the previous year and cashed it in the Raw after Survivor Series on Randy Orton to become WWE Champion. And I think John Cena won the Elimination Chamber match to earn his WWE title spot. So, yeah, it's The Miz versus John Cena in the main event. And, yeah, that's all I can really remember about the build-up. Like, the build-up for it wasn't that memorable at all. And The Miz's WWE title reign was pretty fucking weak. Like, Miz came out with a big inflatable awesome word, which was alright, I guess, and Cena was decked out in his red gear. And the two had an okay match, but it was like, compare that to what The Undertaker and Triple H put on, it wasn't even the same fucking ballpark, man. So, yeah, Miz won after I think The Rock had something to do with it. And, yeah, Miz got the win in this match, but The Rock ends up hitting the rock bottom on The Miz anyway. So he was basically an afterthought in this entire match, and he was the fucking world champion. Everyone was so focused about John Cena and The Rock's involvement in this match. Like, no one gave a shit about The Miz, which just goes to show you how poorly booked he was as a world champion. I feel like with his character as of right now in 2018, I feel like he could be a better Universal Champion or a WWE Champion, but yeah, you look at this match and you realize why Miz is better off as an Intercontinental Champion. He's done a great job with that championship. As for this title, not so much. So, yeah, that's how we ended the show. Match of the night, Undertaker and Triple H. Easily was the match of the night. How I'm going to rate this show, I'm going to give this show a 3.5 out of 10. This was a pretty fucking bad WrestleMania. There was some good matches, I will say. There were some good matches. Undertaker and Triple H were awesome. But the things that were bad on the show were really, really bad. And the things that were really poor on the show were really, really poor. So yeah, that's why this WrestleMania gets a very low rating for me. And this is why this WrestleMania is such a quick review for me. Because I just don't really want to talk about this WrestleMania. I want to get to WrestleMania 28. Because let's be honest, they might as well just change the name for WrestleMania 27 to WrestleMania 28, the prequel. Because that's what it felt like to me. It felt like a prequel to WrestleMania 28. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your opinions on WrestleMania 27, and if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram's at JackAmanLaw31 if you want to check me out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I am out in 3, 2, 1.